Pour your power, pour your spirit on me. Yeah, yeah.
It's so nice to have you join us here. It's our live studios here, Dove Television, transmitting live from the redemption camp of the Redeemed Christian Church of God here in Ogun State, Nigeria, to wherever you could be in the entire world. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in at this time. My name is Lekan Omosebi. Now, our Dominion studios have opened early before the convention because there are so many things we need to get you inclined and definitely need to inform you as far as the convention for 2019 of the Redeemed Christian Church of God is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. Now, we'll be looking more into the traffic situation as far as the convention for this year is concerned. Like you know, like we all know, this convention will be the biggest so far. And of course, if we look at transport and we look at transportation and all that involves it, you will not but just mention the Federal Road Safety Corps of Nigeria. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the studios, in our live studios, the Dominion studios, right now, we have with me, sitting with me here right now, is the Assistant Corps Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Kehinde G. Amzat, the Unit Commander of the FRSC Mowe Unit here in Ogun State, Nigeria. We sincerely want to say thank you so much, sir, for being here.
My sincere pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to have you here.
It's my pleasure.
Okay. Now, like we said, if you're watching this, the Redeemed Christian Church of God will be having the 66th annual convention, which will be coming up from Monday, and of course, all the way till Saturday next week. Now, this is it. We all know that a lot of people will be coming from every part of the country to converge here in Ogun State, talking about the redemption camp. So that means a lot of vehicles will be coming towards this place. Now, the first question I'd like to ask you, sir, is how is work?
To God be the glory. We've been working and we'll still continue to work.
Well, now, for the sake of those watching all over the world, the Federal Road Safety Corps, what exactly do you do? What is your main job? What do you do exactly?
Basically, we're to ensure safety of lives and properties on Nigerian roads. And of course, to achieve this, there are a lot of things that are put in place. One of those things is to ensure enforcement on the road. That is even secondary because there are different layers of enforcement, starting from enlightenment. We enlighten motorists on the road, on the proper use of road. Then we educate. We catch them young by going to schools, by educating students. And of course, we do training programs. We conduct training programs for companies, motorists, road users. We carry out training. And of course, we do vehicle, we produce the driver's license to be sure that somebody who is really using the road is actually have the ability and right to use the road. Of course, the number plate production is one of those things we do. Exactly. Well, we do regulations. I mean, create regulations which our act actually gave us the power to do. You know, we assist states of the federation in monitoring their own state traffic management group. Okay. For example, we have LASMA in Lagos, yeah. Lagos, we have Trace in Ogun. So we make our input and we try to make sure that they have their feet on ground so that they can concentrate on the state road while we go to the federal road. But we're still at the verge because not all states have been captured. And lots more. During the public enlightenment activity, we'll carry out a lot of public enlightenment activity than even what people know. Before now, we go to parks to carry out park rallies. But we discovered that not all motorists go to the park. Pedestrians should be educated too. So we have domesticated our public education by going to churches, to mosques, to religious places, social centers. We meet artisans to enlighten them. We do pre-trip inspections to parks. So these and lots more. And basically, we ensure we remove obstructions on the road. And of course, we quick intervention to road traffic crashes so that at least we will reduce fatality on our roads.
Thank you so much. I love the way you actually broke that down. You actually went down with that. That was deep. Now, we're going to narrow it down now. Now, with all you've said, that this is what the Federal Road Safety Corps does, now let us narrow it down to the convention of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Now, the redemption camp is critically located on a very major express road in Nigeria, which I know at least 99% of Nigerians have actually applied that road. Now, we all know that a lot of people will be coming for this convention. But, sir, we know as well, for those that are still watching outside the country, that are not living here, but they are coming for the convention. And like you said, you used the word enlighten. So we need to enlighten people that will be traveling down, and then since they'll be plying this particular road we're talking about, I realized about a week or 2 or 3 ago, there have been some heavy traffic on Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. What is the role of the road safety concerning this traffic we've been experiencing? And how will this disappear since this convention is coming up?
We've started strategizing for the past 2 weeks. There's a major meeting we held at the instance of one of the top members of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in preparation for this program, Pastor Mufunaya to be specific.
Okay.
And we had meetings with all stakeholders involved. And part of those things we deliberated upon, we start seeing them manifesting. If you wouldn't mind me going into some of those things, it's not out of place that I should let you know that we held meetings. My zonal commanding officer came specifically for the purpose of this. The sector commander Lagos, sector commander Ogun, we brainstormed on a way forward. And if you apply through Lagos Ibadan from yesterday, around the construction area, you see our men. You see, yesterday, even before they put a concrete barrier, we used our cones. As early as 5:30, we try to beat traffic before traffic will beat us. Then we put these cones in place, and our men are strategically located. Yesterday, commuters, at least to a very large extent, heave a sigh of relief because the major problem is around the construction area. And before then, we discovered that there are some areas that need palliative measure, which during the course of the meeting, we met with the representative of Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. Okay. We met with the site engineer for Julius Berger.
I was going to ask you that anyway.
We met with them. And there and then we agreed that they are going to put palliative measure on some salient places where we observe that there are potholes that is slowing down vehicles. Part of those areas, as we speak, they probably will have finished that at Kapaksi. They are working there. Then we talk of the shoulder at Mowe market area, where commuters will be able to park, drop and pick passengers, which they agreed to fix. And if we go further, we'll discover that around the construction area, when we turn around Ibafo Market, before you get back to the construction zone, that is the Lagos-Ibadan axis of the road, that is Lagos towards Shagamu, there was a very conspicuous bar spot that slows down the movement of vehicle even before you get to the construction zone itself. That one had been fixed last week.
Beautiful.
And there is free flow around there. We discovered that the volume of traffic flowing from 4 lanes to 2, at that funnel, that is where the diversion takes place, definitely there will be people struggling to enter the construction area where the road is being diverted from 4 lanes to 2. So what we did yesterday was to project it and funnel it out. That is from 4 lane, you get to 3, you get to 2, before you enter into that narrow portion.
Beautiful.
And there was no traffic hiccup around there at all. So what we are doing now is make sure that it's about 2.5 kilometers distance where we have the construction area. So we'll make sure we place our equipment, the Redeemed Christian Church of God's equipment, that of Julius Berger crane will be put on standby so that immediately there's any breakdown within the construction area, it will be removed immediately. That's the best we could do. And
no, explain that again. You're saying that if there's a vehicle right in the middle of a traffic that probably...
In case there's a broken down vehicle.
Okay.
You know, definitely it will impede the movement of vehicles.
It will cause traffic.
Yes. So the equipment to remove them.
The broken down vehicle
The broken down vehicle. Immediately, because quick intervention is what we need now.
Okay.
Redeemed Christian Church of God is bringing in their tow truck.
Yes.
FRS is bringing their tow truck. The Julius Berger, they are bringing their crane. Even if it is big, it's a matter of, within a twinkle of minutes, we'll get there and get it removed. Traffic continue to flow because we cannot play with time.
That was music to my ears. And I love the sound of that.
Another thing, if you get to around Ashishi, immediately after this church, this Chris Oyakilome's church, Immediately after, we have broken the Gomako, that is the continuous strip barrier. We have broken it, and there is an entrance to Rccg now. So the congregants coming to redeem for the purpose of that program will keep right. Whereas those people going straight towards Mowe, towards Ibadan, will keep left.
Oh.
So that Gomako has been broken.
Please, you see, I would like you to explain this because, like I keep saying, there are a lot of people watching outside the country, but they're coming for the convention.
Yes.
But I'd like you to explain this again. When you're coming from Lagos,
yes, from Lagos
towards Ibadan,
towards
but
Ibadan.
you're coming actually for the convention.
For the convention.
Just for the convention alone.
Exactly.
Please continue from there.
When you're coming for the convention, immediately you enter into that construction area where the diversion starts.
That's to the left. That's into the tunnel.
Into the funnel.
Yes.
Once
funnel,
you are
yes.
already into that construction zone, you keep completely right. If you are going for this,
So you don't go into
you don't
that
go
funnel.
towards. You go into the funnel, but you
Okay.
keep right.
Okay, you keep right.
The other vehicle going straight, is a 2-lane now. The road has been narrowed to 2-lane.
Yes.
So you are coming for this program, you keep to your right. The people going straight towards Mowe, going towards Ibadan,
Shagam
will
and the
keep
rest.
towards left. So before you get to the end of that construction area, there is an opening at Rccg, which will lead you and link you directly to Redeemed Christian Church of God. So you have no business moving towards left. So it is expected that you go through your right, so you just turn into Rccg. Then for the benefit of those coming from Ikorodu and the likes, it is better, we'll advise, because those roads have been given palliative measure to come through Shimawa end, so that they don't bother themselves coming
through
hard
mile 12,
to the
then
traffic
Georgia,
of,
then
yes,
coming
they should
towards-
go through Shimawa. So these are some of the things we put in place to ensure a seamless traffic situation during the period.
Yes, you've mentioned this, Paulo, but you forgot to mention the one at, immediately after Berger. If you literally pass Berger, that you're coming towards the camp, there's this huge pothole before you get to the long bridge.
Okay, you're talking from inside Lagos?
Yes, from Berger towards, yes.
From inside Lagos?
Yes.
You see, if there
If you
is,
come outside Lagos, if
Yes.
you just come out of, yes.
before you get to the long bridge?
Yes.
Yes, we did mention it. It's one of those areas they will give palliative measure to. For example, if you don't have problem within the construction area, there won't be need for a backlog of traffic to have even gotten to that area. However, we mentioned it during the course of our meeting, and the Julius Berger people agreed putting palliative measure, closing up whichever pothole that is within the area we are talking about. And we are monitoring, because on Friday we will still be meeting.
Okay, again.
We will still, the expanded committee will still be meeting.
That's on the 3rd.
On Friday, yes. We'll be meeting and we'll be giving a feedback of how far we have gone. And we'll conclude on our activities so that we'll have a seamless program.
But what palliative measures are you putting down for the public vehicles? We're talking about the bus conductors and the drivers that really don't obey the laws that you have made for our express roads.
Definitely. If you see now, they are, like I said, they are working on Kapaxi Junction.
Yeah, I saw it with my eyes this
Good.
morning.
The bus spots are already being worked on. And we've held meeting with the union members concerning their bus drivers parking in the middle of that Kapaxi to either drop or pick up passengers. From today, it becomes an offense, because we'll pick them, we'll not only charge them for dangerous driving, we'll charge them for something more serious. And we're not going to release their vehicle until in fact, it was discussion with my sector commander that we charge them to court. So even the Okada riders, plying one way, facing traffic, violating route, either from the Shagamu axis, facing traffic towards Lagos. This morning, we arrested even some of them, because we have told them, come 1st of August, we're going to stop all this nonsense. We sat down with them, we agreed with them, and they all agreed with us. We put it in black and white. So we've arrested some of them even this morning. So they know what we want, and our enforcers are already on the road, and they will always be there. And of course, the convention is a big program, unlike the usual monthly program we used to have. So we are inviting teams from even the Lagos Command. We're inviting about 3 teams from Lagos Command, 1 from Ojota. When I mean Lagos Command, I'm talking of the State Command.
Yes.
1 from Ojota. We're expecting 2 teams from Abeokuta.
Okay.
1 from Ogere.
Beautiful.
1 from Shagamu, coupled with our own 5 that we have within. So, and it will be a shift kind of thing. It's 24 hours running.
You just took that question from my mouth. I was going to ask you, would the Federal Road Safety Corps be there 24 hours for this convention?
Exactly, we'll be there. In fact, it might interest you to know that even our radio communication that has been done for some time, we fixed them for the purpose of this program.
Wow, thank you so much.
So Lagos and Ogun can communicate seamlessly.
Beautiful. But then, let's look at the people that will be coming for the convention, and then probably they see one or two things that probably your men haven't seen. How would they get to communicate that to you?
Yes. If it's a crash, because we have different commands between Iyanoworo down to Oluyole Ibadan. So if we have a crash that demands immediate attention, they should just call our emergency number 122. Somebody will pick and will call the immediate command to attend to that, and within a twinkle of an eye, we're there.
So the numbers is 122. All you need to do is just dial 122. And the line is toll free?
It's toll free. It's toll free.
Toll free.
Toll free, 122.
Now, let's critically look at Capacity.
Yes.
What I've noticed at Capacity every day is that the commuter buses that come from Lagos, they actually decide to get into that U-turn. They don't actually do the complete U-turn. They get into that U-turn, the passengers come off, and they try to load passengers from that U-turn itself. And I've seen your men stand there and not tell these commuters, these buses, to leave that particular spot. Would that still continue during this convention?
I mentioned it earlier. We have stages of activities. We talk of discussing with people. When we discuss with you, we'll give you a deadline. Like I told you, we gave them till 1st of August. We held a meeting with them that dropping passengers and picking passengers within that island of Kapasi is now a taboo from this day. So our men are there. You see, enforcement never took place because we are still negotiating then.
At that time?
At that time, we're still negotiating. And we have discussed with them. We talk of subtle enforcement, which we have done earlier. Now, from today, it will be full enforcement. Whosoever we arrest, like I said, will not only be asked to go and pay fine, that person will face the magistrate.
Beautiful. Thank you for repeating that again. But I would like to actually ask this question. Sorry, I have to ask you. The construction company, I don't want to mention the name now, the construction company that is fixing the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, to what extent do you think you'll be able to comply with what you have asked them to do to fix part of the roads before the commencement of this convention?
Sincerely speaking, they are working to our dictates, because on that day, we gave a maximum period. We gave them terms of reference. And from what I have seen, it's like they are working towards those terms. Like, I never expected them to have done that problem we had at Rccg, which they have fixed perfectly.
Where is Rccg?
Rccg is just before, if you are coming from Lagos, just before the construction zone.
Okay.
They fixed that area. It was a very bad spot. And they have worked on the Lotto axis of the expressway.
Yes.
They have worked on that place too.
By the petrol station, there's
yes,
a filling
by the
station.
NNPC.
Yes.
They worked on it, which was part of those things we agreed on. And they are working, as at this morning, if they have not completed, on Capaxi. So I want to believe when they leave. Are
you saying Lotto is fixed now?
It has been fixed. If you pass there this morning, you discover it has been fixed. They fixed Lotto.
So it's a drive-through?
It's a drive-through. You don't have any hiccup there. It has been fixed. And these are some of the things we discussed. So if they have gone as far as fixing those worst ones, these bad ones will be just a child's play. Because I will expect them, after finishing with Capacity, they should go to that, where we have the Bonodor and NNPC station. I mean, if you're coming from Shagamu towards Lagos, before that Capacity, there is these bad spots there. They are expected to fix that too. Then they are expected to move to that Ibafo market area to get it fixed. I think they are working to terms.
Okay, if you're watching this, remember it's a live broadcast from our studios here at Dove Television in Nigeria, to wherever you could be. Remember, our Dominion studio has opened early. Yeah, we have opened early, and of course, we have with us the Assistant Corps Commander, Mr. Kehinde G. Amzat, is the Unit Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Mowe Unit Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps of Nigeria. Now, but then, for everybody watching, sir, like, definitely the number of cars, vehicles that will ply that road from next week, Monday, is going to be more. Talk less of by Thursday next week and Friday next week. What's your advice to people that will be behind the wheels? What's your advice to them? You've said the roles that you've played so much more that there won't be traffic. That look, all we want is just for vehicles to keep moving, just keep moving. But then that's your role. That's one side of the coin. What's your advice for the other side of the coin?
You see, we like showing wealth in this part of the country.
You could say that again.
You see, there's nothing stopping us from going through park and ride.
Say that again.
Park and ride. You park your car somewhere.
And then you take a public bus.
You take in fact, I am aware that the buses of RCCG
it's almost everywhere. It's almost everywhere in Lagos.
But everybody wants to come in with their vehicles.
You see the vehicles, yes.
So everybody wants to come with their vehicle. The first thing is to drop that pride, park and ride. Join the big buses, park your vehicle somewhere, come for the program.
And the same bus.
And it will take you to where you can pick your vehicle and go back home. So park and ride is one of those things I will advise our public to really adhere to and embrace. It will really work and help us. 2, I want to think they should take the shorter way to their route. For example, those coming from Ikorodu, now coming through Mile 12, coming to join the cluster of vehicle within Ojota down to this area would not be necessary. Can go through Shimawa and get to where you are going, which will be easier. If you think that road is that bad, no. RCCG had given palliative measure to this road. And another important thing, you see, some of our big men don't go out with their vehicles. When they want to go for this kind of program, that's when they bring those vehicles out. Vehicles they have not driven for over some time will now develop fault within the traffic, thereby creating problem. They should start driving these vehicles now, so that they won't give us problem, having mechanical problems when they put this. They believe it's a new vehicle, it's capable of doing anything, but a machine is a machine. You need to test it over a period of time before you keep it on the road. So if you do some of these things, I think it will be a better program for you, for me, and for everybody.
Okay, now with people that are in charge of, let's say, vehicles for Redeemed Christian Church of God in the camp, you said you've had meetings with them as well. Will there be other exits coming from Lagos? You don't have to get to Kapaksi before you get into the camp. Are there other exits so that you can get to Shimawa or the old auditorium before you can get to Kapaksi? You can easily just take a right turn and say, okay, fine, I'm going straight to the auditorium. Are there exits?
Like I just said, they have broken that long strip barrier, the Gomako barrier.
Is that the only one?
No, that's not the only one. You can go through Loto. You can still go through Kapaksi, then you can go through the main gate. And you can go through even the youth center. These are different areas from where which you can get to the camp. And for those coming from Ibadan, they can make their U-turn at Kapaksi, go through Kapaksi, or come through the main gate, or go through the youth center. These are different ways you can get to the camp. So there are options.
What I'm asking is, don't you think it will actually reduce the number of flow of vehicles to Kapaksi if there are exits before Kapaksi coming from Lagos?
Yes. Those ones at Loto and the one at Asheshe, these are 2 big areas. And some people can even pass through, what's the name of this, Pastor Chris Oyakilome's church? Christ Embassy. Some people can go through. There's a leeway from Christ Embassy. And there is a thoroughfare between that same Asheshe, go through Christ Embassy, then you get to the new auditorium. And you can go straight through Asheshe entrance. As well, you can go through Luto without getting to Kapaksi.
Okay. All right. Now, first of all, there are 2 major pointers I would like you guys, if you're watching, that you really need to hold on to at this point. Now, remember, the Assistant Corps Commander here also made a vital point that is still in my head, that he said once we get to a particular point on that express road where you need to get into the funnel,
yes,
that you should keep to your right if you're coming to the redemption camp.
Exactly.
Now, if one makes a mistake of going to the left, will the person find himself in Shagam or Ibadan?
No. He will still find himself passing through either Loto or going through Kapaksi. But because we want to reduce the number of vehicles, I mean, the distance you will have to go through the construction area, that's why we created that area, so that you can just go through Ashishi to the redemption camp. But if you miss your way, you still go through the left, you can still go through Loto, and you can still go through Kapaksi, and even the main gate.
Okay, now I think I'm getting some information from my producer right now. I think at this point, if you're watching, I'm not just being laid here to ask questions just by myself. But if you're watching, you can pick up your phone as well. Remember, if you're definitely going to be here for this convention, and then you're a bit skeptical about coming. You're, oh no, I don't want to be in traffic. No, I don't want to sleep. I don't want to pass my night on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. But then the commander here has been telling us, the assistant commander here has actually told us that no, you are not going to spend your night on the expressway if you're coming for this convention. But then if you have other questions that you would like to ask him, you can actually put your call through, and of course the numbers are going to be displayed on the screen right now, which you definitely will be able to call in and ask the Assistant Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps for Ogun State Unit. And of course, I must quickly say calls are coming in already. But then, call the number on your screen, and I can reassure you that Mr. Kehinde G. Amzat will be able to answer your call. And I must quickly tell you, our calls are coming in, and I'm sure people will be ready to ask you questions. People are really skeptical. I must confess. They have been skeptical. They would rather watch it on Dove television and be safe at home. But then they've given them enough reasons why they should come. Let's pick up this call. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. A very good afternoon to you. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Philip. I'm calling you from Abuja.
Philip from Abuja. Please go ahead with your question or contribution. I'm with you. Please go ahead. Go ahead, Philip. He wanted to ask a question about the expressways. He said someone coming from Ibadan. You see, I really would like to ask you a question. Is it necessarily a must that someone has to get to Kapaksi coming from Ibadan before getting to the camp? I think that was the reason why the camp at the youth gate.
The youth gate, there is a continuous strip.
There used to be a U-turn at that point at the time.
Yes, there isn't as we speak.
Yes.
There had been a long strip, so you must get to Kapaksi before you make a U to get to the youth camp.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Okay, we lost that. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Please, your name.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name, please.
That Mrs. Alabi from Ikorodu.
Alabi from Ikorodu. Thank you so much, Mrs. Alabi. Please go ahead.
So what I'm trying to say is that concerning that if somebody pass somewhere, they will charge the person or the person will go to court. I think maybe they could have made an advert towards the road so that people will know the direction and where to pass, where to go, or something like that.
Okay, I understand. Okay, you want a pre-information so that people will abide with it. Okay, let's hear from Mr. Kehinde Amzat. Mr. Kehinde, what do you think? Do you agree with that?
The people we're talking about taking to court are not the people coming for the program, because they are not dropping people in the middle of Kapaksi or picking passengers from Kapaksi. They are coming for a program and they are going right into the program. But we are talking of these commuters that are sort of menace to every transport activities within that area. It's something they have been doing. And of course, we told them, we held a meeting with their union that from the 1st of August, we don't want it. So if you're coming for the program, go for your program. Don't stand in the middle of that Kapaksi to drop passenger or pick passenger.
Okay. So I think he has answered you. My producer has just signaled at me that we're completely out of time. We want to say a very big thank you, sir. That's Mr. Kehinde G. Amzat, the unit commander of Federal Road Safety Corps Mowe Unit Command right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our invitation.
My sincere pleasure.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've heard it from the horse's mouth. It's going to be a safe expressway. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will be so safe, and as promised, it's going to be a drive-through as far as this convention is concerned. My name is Lekan Omosebi. Thank you so much for being part of our Dominion Live studios here. We'll now return you for more regular programming here on Dove Television. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye for now.